start with because we've been traveling quite a bit over the past 2 weeks. So we haven't been able to record, but we're back. Juliet is back. Everything is back to normal. So we're heading off the week. Welcome back. Thank you for listening. I've been really bad about the editing. It's good to be back, even though we've been talking about like in New York and shit.
I can't move past it. The thing is that I've had to really keep it in because I don't want to be that annoying ass bitch that is like, I love New York. I just need to be there because that place just calls me. You know what I mean?
At least it's not LA.
But I went through At
least it's not LA. If it was LA, I'd judge you hard.
I went through that phase, and then I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, I don't need that. And I was like, I'm good. I'll go to the other side of the country.
Speaking of conflict, though, we are in. I think World War III just started.
That's how you're gonna segue into
like
one of the most important
Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
That wasn't.
It hasn't started. Are we not in World War III right now?
Biden did not. He specified that he's not sending troops to.
No,
he sent troops for defense.
No,
but them motherfuckers got guns.
He didn't.
He's not sending anybody.
But that's the point.
I just read that he sent troops to Kiev for defense purposes. It's a defense strategy maneuver. We gotta fact check this in real time.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
I read that this is
an interview
straight from Al Jazeera.
They were like, well, what are you going to do about the American citizens that are there? You know what I mean? And he was like, I mean, I know it's really hard to hear, but we shouldn't do anything. For us to like intervene in this issue is going to cause like a major fucking like global conflict. That would not be like the smart thing to do. You know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, there's already a global conflict.
So, well, yeah, obviously, but I feel like when's the last time you said you heard an American president be like, nah, that's not our business.
Per NATO and the alliance we have with NATO, we are entitled to send aid, and part of that aid means either weaponry and or like medical supplies and also troops on the ground.
Yes,
right.
So
did troops go or no?
They stated that Biden sent 7,000 troops to deploy to Germany.
Oh, okay. So Germany. Not to Kiev.
Not to Kiev. Not to Ukraine. So the thing is I believe
so they're just on deck,
playing very careful about how they're sending things out because they don't want to start a war.
Sure,
so they're
diplomatically speaking.
They're trying to basically say we'll aid you and all the other countries around you, but we don't want to get involved in there. And I believe that Ukraine is on the same page.
Son, I read that Ukraine is like, yo, y'all are taking too long. We out here and they attacking everything, bro.
Well, that conflict has been going on for
I believe Ukraine.
Yeah. The roots of that that goes back to the Soviet Union if you really want to go for it.
Ukraine is not part of any of agreements, are they?
No, and that's part of the problem. Ukraine was in talks of joining NATO recently,
and they never did.
And when did it happen? But because of those talks, Putin was like, yo, we gotta intervene because you can't be part of NATO. Like it would be the equivalent of like the Cuban Missile Crisis. If Ukraine joined NATO, is essentially saying the U.S. is at their doorstep. In the same way that had Cuba joined with the USSR at the time, then Russia would have been right 90 miles from fucking Miami. And at that time, the Red Scare was hella real. You know what I mean? So like that was. It's the equivalent of that to some degree. I know that NATO is a lot more countries. It's like Germany, Italy, France, and like 30 other countries and shit. But like, so we're not in World War III?